Welcome to another episode coming at you from ChooseYourRelationships.com. Offer of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. Yes, sir. It's official. Like a referee with a whistle. So, as I record this broadcast, it's after 2. It's almost 2:30 in the morning. And, a lot of times, a lot of things that I want to talk about, it usually comes to me like it's like a stream of conscious. I don't really have anything planned out as far as what I really want to talk about. So when things come to me in my spirit, a lot of times I like to get it out, because if I don't speak it, I'll forget about it. And some people will say, hey, just write it down. Well, I can't write everything down all the time. Sometimes it's good just to speak it. Speaking is better. I think speaking is the best form of communication, if I'm not mistaken. At least it's been for me. Speaking is the best form of communication. Now, writing is probably the second best form of communication, I would say. But you have to speak your life ideas into existence. Nobody else is going to do that for you. So this is why I wanted to talk about why you shouldn't compare your relationship to others, to other people. And, I learned this, I came to this conclusion about probably 15 years ago, because, I don't compare my experiences to other people, because I realized that, everyone, the majority of people that I know, and I've met a gang of people in this world, but the majority of people that I know have not had my experiences in life. They haven't been where I've been. They haven't seen what I've seen. There's a lot of people that think they know how it is, how things go, how things work, but they just be running their goddamn mouth. Yeah, most people, they just be running their goddamn mouths. And the dangerous part about it sometimes is that they think they know what they're talking about, but the reality is they don't. And see, in American society especially, it's always the most unintelligent people that do most of the talking. Think about it. If you look at the television, it's always the person with the least amount of intelligence. They seem to always find these reporters always seem to find the dumbest person to put the microphone in his or her face and let them do the talking. I found that the most intelligent people, they sit back and observe, and they talk the least. But the people that talk the most is always the dumbest, the I mean, they're degenerates. In most cases, they always got something to say. But it's like, what are you talking about? You just look at them like you're dumb as you're dumb as rocks. It's in American society, it's always been, I think it's always been that way too. I don't think this is not something new. But you start to see more and more of that only because of technology. you know. But it's gotten worse. It's going to get even worse because you're going to come out with this AI and robots and all this stuff in the near future. Well, it's already out, but it's going to be more of it, and they're going to expand, basically. So I always said that I would never use I wouldn't want my relationships or my way of living to be the bar. Because I've done things that most people are never going to do in a lifetime. And I'm not saying that to brag. That's just how it is. And it's not that people can't do it or won't do it. They're just not going to get the opportunities to do it. It's like people will say, when we were growing up, they lied to us. Our parents said, hey, you can do anything you put your mind to. No, you can't. Or they'll say you can do anything you want. No, you can't. The only people that can do anything they want are wealthy people. If you're from a wealthy family, you can do any goddamn thing you want. Absolutely, 100%. But if that's not the case, and I'm not saying you shouldn't try to do whatever you want, you shouldn't let your upbringing or your lack thereof stop you from doing anything. That's not what I'm trying to say. But to say that you're going to do any and everything you want, that's not going to happen. In your whole life, you might get good at doing 2 to 5 things really, really good. But to say that you're going to do anything you want, any and everything you want, the math doesn't add up to that way of thinking, that way of being. It just don't work that way in real life. But a lot of us were raised on that idea that if you put your mind to it, you can do anything you want. And when we go out here, we figure out that it don't really work that way, And which brings me back to relationships. A lot of relationships, it don't really work the way we imagine it would work based on our upbringing, our parents, our grandparents. A lot of things doesn't transition from our parents to us. A lot of things we tried to model what our parents did, but it doesn't work. The reason why it doesn't work because we're in a different world today. The rules, the rules have kind of changed up a bit because the environment has changed and the minds of people have changed. So you have to adjust your rules, your way of thinking a slight bit to make things fit, to make things work for you. You know, if not, your relationships are going to fail and they're going to continue to fail. That's just how it is. Now, you can always go to someplace else, and your way of thinking, who you are, it might work. And that makes sense because you're in a different environment. There's nothing wrong with that. However, how many guys are going to be able to pick up and move to another country like that? I mean, how many guys do you know that can actually, how many guys you know today can actually move to another country right now, today? I mean, how many guys you know that can do that? I don't know many. I don't know many. I mean, I could, you know, I could, but it would take a lot for me to do that today, to be honest. But I could pull it off. But it wouldn't be easy. You know, especially I don't know anybody in places like Colombia, Brazil. I mean, I know people in Mexico, but I don't know a lot of people. Now, I've had people reach out to me in certain places around the world, but the places that I would consider moving to, I don't really know anybody there. You know, I really don't. So you might be asking, well, why did that make a difference? Because the quality of your life is going to be determined by the relationships you have. It just good relationships with people just make life better. That's just how it is. You know, I mean, if you want to live like a hermit, knock yourself out. If you want to be by yourself, being antisocial, no friends really, knock yourself out. I don't want to live that life. I never wanted to live that life. I never wanted to be by myself and act like I don't need anybody. That's crazy. You know, that doesn't, where they do that? A lot of people think like that in America. That doesn't work. See, I'm a practical thinking guy. I believe in doing what works. You know, once I find something that works, I ride it till the wheels fall off. You know, but I realized that, you know, you can have any type of relationship you want. Doesn't matter how outlandish it may seem. Doesn't matter what I think. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. There's some woman, man or woman, out here, regardless of the type of relationship you want, there's some woman that's down for it. Like, really, for real. I've learned this, man. But there's a problem. There's a problem with, there's a problem though. The problem is people can't keep their damn mouth closed. People can't keep their damn mouth closed. That's the problem. Because if you have friends, so-called friends anyway, some of these people you have around you, they're not really your friends. They have a lot of envy and jealousy of you. problem is people you have around you, once you go tell them what type of relationship you have with your spouse or your girlfriend, and if your relationship ain't like theirs, they're going to more than likely shame you or say something negative. That's the problem. So it's best to keep your damn mouth closed. Keep your business in your household. Like my mom used to tell me, keep your damn mouth closed. Because nobody understands your relationship outside the household, regardless of even if they're married. Every marriage is not the same. Every relationship is not the same. All relationships have a different dynamic. I've never met any couple and I said that, hey, they're just like us. No, they're not exactly like y'all. Maybe similar, but no. No relationship is the same. None. I never met anybody. I never met any relationship, and I thought, hey man, we're damn near we're the same. We like just because y'all like doing the same stuff or have some things in common, y'all still not the same. You know. And there's couples, check this out. There's couples that have swapped partners for like a weekend or two on a consistent basis. Some people call it swinging. You call it whatever you want. But there's people out here that are swingers, swinger couples out here. They switch partners. So in other words, you got two women, you know, that are married, they're friends, and they'll switch husbands over the weekend. One husband go to the other house, the other husband go to the next other woman's house. And even these women have said they thought what they thought about each other wasn't correct, you know, because on the outside looking in, they spending all these time together as a couple with each other's men, on vacation, etc., or whatever. But once the girlfriend was gone, and it was once they switched husbands, they realized that her husband wasn't as similar as they thought, which it's not a bad thing, but they just assumed that wasn't the case, just because. And see, the thing is, a lot of times people act differently when they're around each other. A lot of people put on like a mask, a front, just like you have some women might act one way in front of women or girlfriends, and then you have the same women who act differently in front of a man. That's usually how it goes. And then you have some women, when there's no women around, period, and it's just him and mano with this man in private, she's completely different. She might even behave differently. That that's pretty common. And this is one of the reasons why over the years, I mind my damn business. Because what used to happen is I used to see people out and about, maybe at the club or around town doing whatever they was doing. Maybe I saw them hugged up with somebody or whatever, right? I seen people do things over the years. People that I know personally, people that were married, living with somebody, etc. Right? And in my mind, I was like, hey, she's cheating or he cheating, right? And I've learned, man, sometimes everybody ain't relationship ain't traditional. Some people relationship is open. Some people get a pass time to time. And a lot of people have a hard time with this, especially women. Because women, they be, oh, I'm trying to look out for my girl. And now she's going to call her girlfriend on the phone, embarrass her, telling what she saw her husband doing out in the streets. And now her girl is going to go back to her husband and be like, hey, you need to be more careful out there. You know what I'm saying? My girl saw you doing this and that. And now he has to explain, and she's embarrassed, you know? So what I'm saying is this: mind your damn business. You don't know what these people got going on. You really, I really don't know. Now I've never been one to tattletale and tell on people, but I saw what I saw, and I'm like, hey, I don't know what they got going on, but I'm staying out of that shit because that's just not my place to run my damn mouth, you know. And see, when you run your mouth, like if you tell on a guy, if you're a man, and if you tell on a guy, it's worse because the guy gonna be looking at you like, yo, man, what's up, bro? Why are you in my business? He might approach you and he might get violent. I mean, what you gonna do if he get aggressive on you? You know what I'm saying? It's one thing when a woman tells, it's one thing. But if a man tells another man, see, that's a little different situation right there. So I never wanted to get in no type of I never want nobody. I have enough going on in my own life. You know, I don't want to get involved in nobody else's business. You know, so I've learned, man, that even when I was growing up with the older people that were around, there was always at least one man that had a family on the other side of town, or he had kids on the other side of town with another woman, and damn near everybody knew it, but they kind of kept their mouth shut. It's not like today. Today they put you on blast, put you on the internet and all that shit. But when I was growing up, everybody knew whose mom was a side chick. Everybody knew who mom was a side chick when I was growing up. We knew it. It wasn't what's understood don't have to be explained. We knew it. But that didn't take anything away from us being kids. We were kids. We played games together, played basketball together, and it was cool. You know, but we didn't go around saying, "Oh, your mom was a whore." We didn't do no bullshit like that. But today, yeah, kids do that shit today. We didn't go around saying your mom, she never got married. You're poor and all this crazy shit. We didn't do none of that shit. You know, we didn't. You can't pick your parents. Unfortunately, your parents are who they are. They don't need to dwell on it and, get into all the pity party when it comes to your parents or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, some of us had special parents growing up. We know if we had a special parent or not. And if your cousin or your friend had a special parent. It was what it was. Even if your parents living today, some of them are still special. You know, so everybody knew this as kids. We didn't have to talk about it or explain it or go into details. You know, but we knew when the guy used to come over every once in a while, maybe during the holidays, or come over at night and be on the porch talking to your mama. You know what I'm saying? And then you go to sleep and you wake up the next morning and your mom getting up going to work. But you didn't see what time the man left, which was your dad. You know what I'm saying? He came over every once in a while. He didn't come over all the time. He came over probably once every 2 weeks, or maybe once a month. But he called all the time. Called all the time. He might have came over once a month, maybe twice a month. That was your dad. He lived on the other side of town. He'll come over, make sure mom need anything or whatever. He did the best he could do. He got 2 kids with your mom, you and your sister, and he had 3 kids with his wife. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying? It was always one of those guys, in the neighborhood. And the thing is, that guy could afford to be that way. He could afford to have more than one woman. See, back in the day, the guys that had multiple women, they could afford to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? They would kind of get a pass. It was kind of a rites of passage, so to speak. Today you have guys just doing whatever today. There's no code of conduct. There's no rites of passage. You have average dudes, nerds, trying to have 3-4 women, and they don't really know what they're doing, and they can't really afford to be dating anyway. They shouldn't, but they're doing it anyway. You have guys who go out on a date with a woman and he can't even pay the tab. He can't even pay his food. He's looking for her to pick up the tab. You have guys that's doing this today, which is, to me, it's the craziest thing. I can't even wrap my mind around me going to a bar and I ain't got no money, and I'm looking for the woman to pick up the tab at the end of the night. That's great. To me, that's crazy. But that's what you got going on today. There's no. I think a lot of guys don't even know the purpose of manhood today. They think the purpose of manhood is just you smashing women. So it's crazy, man. There's no, there's just no code of conduct. Everybody's just doing whatever. It's like, it's like the Wild Wild West. So, you can have any relationship you want, man. Regardless of how outlandish it may be, you can have an open relationship. Y'all can be a swinging couple. Y'all can be in some type of poly relationship. You can have a traditional relationship, or you can have a relationship where y'all give each other a pass from time to time. You can have whatever relationship you want. But here's the thing. As long as you can handle it, be responsible, and all that good stuff, sky's the limit. And there's a cliche statement that people throw around when it comes to marriage. They say, marriage is what you make of it, which is true. Marriage is what you make of it. It really is. You can do whatever you want, and no one has to know about it. Keep your damn mouth closed, and everything should take care of itself. See, the problem is once you start running your mouth and when people find out about it, then that's going to put pressure on your woman, because your woman, she actually cares about what her friends say. She cares about what her marriage friends think, even though their marriages is not like y'all's. But see, a lot of women have this thing where they want to be a part of they want the camaraderie with other women. They like the fellowship, be friends, and gossip and all the other bullshit they like doing. Some of this stuff comes into play in a positive way sometimes. It just depends on the woman and how she was raised, her culture, etc. Some of this it can be a benefit sometimes. But what I would say, living in North America, it's not a benefit the majority of times. Majority of times living in America, most of these relationships these women have it's a disservice in most cases, because just culturally speaking, a lot of women don't get along up here in North America. They really don't. Even the women that come here from South America or from the East somewhere, after a couple of years, they start not to get along with women as well. They start to become Americanized. They start to have that cutthroat mentality after a while. So there's not much benefit in women having girlfriends. It's not too much. Everyone, there's always an exception to the rule, but for the most part, for the average woman, there's not much benefit in their friends being around. Most of their friends are just useless, really. For the most part. A lot of women might not like that. Most of their girlfriends are just useless. Most of them are. You might say, well, no, you can always use them for something. Yeah, well, use them for sex, okay. Use them if you need a favor, okay. I'll give you that. But outside of shits and giggles and having a good time, most of her girlfriends, it's not much there, really. It's just all talk, gossip, bullshit, or whatever. So, but just always keep in mind, regardless of how much y'all have in common, there's always going to be something about them that you don't know. This is why y'all don't really have anything in common. This no, I'll take that back. This is why y'all relationships, why you shouldn't compare y'all relationship to theirs. Because at the end of the day, you don't know everything about these other couples. And what makes you happy in your relationship might not be what makes them happy in their relationships. And there's always going to be some things about what you do to your man or with your man or with your woman that they might deem as disrespectful, beneath them, or you're being a slave, um, that type of talk. Because you have a lot of these women have a feminist mindset. You know, you got some women out here, man, that if you're sitting down at the table, I give you an example. If you're sitting down at the table, let's say you're a woman, you're sitting down at the dinner table. Could be in a restaurant, it don't matter. Could be home, it don't matter. And let's say you're eating you're eating strawberries, and you might pick up a strawberry, put one in your mouth, put one in your man's mouth. You got some women would have a problem with that. They would say, "Why are you feeding him? You treating him like a little boy, whatever." You have some women that have that mentality, like, like a woman should not treat a man like that. A woman shouldn't um behave in that manner. They see that way of treating a man as borderline slavery. You have women that think like this. It's like, this is why, another reason why you shouldn't compare yourself to other people relationship. Because if you tell a woman that, hey, I rub my man back, I give him a full body massage once a week, a lot of women would look at you like very strange here in North America. They would be like, what? What you do that for? If he want a massage, tell him to go to the massage parlor. You got a lot of women that think like this. They think, anything extra, you know, you know, anything that's outside of her comfort zone, um, go somewhere else with that. That's that's not something she's been taught to do. So she would look at it like, you got to go somewhere else with that. That's beneath her. That's not something that's she should be doing. So if a woman comes in and say, "Hey, I rub his back once a week. I I wash his clothes. I you know, I braid his hair." Some women would be like, "What? You do all of that?" You know, see, because a lot of women think that it should be the opposite. The man should be subservient and submissive, and he should be at her beg and call. He should be worshiping her like, I don't know, like she's the queen, something like that. It should be all about her, and forget about him. You know, See, that's in North America. If a woman says that, most women wouldn't have a problem with it. They wouldn't have a problem with that. But if it's the opposite, if the man is getting the same treatment or more, then that's when it's a problem. You know, this is why you should keep your mouth closed and tell your woman to keep her mouth closed. Whatever happens in this household stays in this household. Whatever works for us works for us. And that's it. You know, because when you let other people get in your business, I've seen it go to hell real fast. And not because of what happened between y'all, it's the fact that it got out. Your friends know about it. Her friends know about it. The family know about it on both sides. So now they're going to say what they're going to say, and you got to hear that. She got to hear that. And that's what breaks a lot of couples up. It's not the fact that the man or the woman cheated, for example. It's just the fact that everybody know it. And a lot of people don't want to deal with the fact that everybody know it. That her friends, family know it. They don't want to deal with it. They rather just start all over from scratch in a new relationship. You know, that's what usually happens. That destroys relationships the majority of the time. It really does. You know, and a lot of women are bad when it comes to this. A lot of women don't understand how their friends being in their business can influence them to do certain things. You know, as far as their relationship goes, a lot of women don't understand this. I've had conversations with women, you know, because some women think that it's okay to get on the phone and call their girlfriends, and she's single, by the way. They think it's okay to get on the phone and call them and tell them all the problems that she got going on. And if you say, "Hey, why are you talking to her? She ain't qualified. She's single. She ain't qualified to give you advice about anything." They'll be like, "Well, I just got to talk to somebody. You know, I ain't got nobody to talk to." Well, you're supposed to talk to me about it. Well, you wasn't here, blah. You know, it's always some type of justification, you know. And if you're dealing with a woman that's like that, that relationship is not going to last for the long term. You're going to end up having to get rid of her because you're always going to something is always going to happen because you know relationships go up and down. You know, there's no perfect relationship. Things happen just in life. You know, especially when you have kids and you know things just happen. That's just what it is. So just knowing that things happen, she's always going to be telling people about what y'all got going on. She's always going to do it because, and she got that from her mom 9 times out of 10. That's where she got that from, those bad habits, you know? So you're going to end up having to get rid of her because she's always going to tell your goddamn business. The people that don't even know you from a can of paint, right? Not only is she gonna keep telling y'all business, those same people, 9 times out of 10, you're going to eventually see them at some point if y'all don't live in the same neck of the woods. And when they see you, they're gonna be looking at you funny style, and you're not gonna even know why they're looking at you funny style. You know, somebody might even act like they got a problem with you, and you don't even really know them. You might have heard about them, but you don't really know them. And the reason why they're going to be looking at you funny style, because that woman that you're with told half truth. She didn't tell the whole story. She just said what she said to them to make her look good. You know, even though she probably instigated or caused most of the problem in the relationship, but she doesn't tell the whole story. You know, she tells the side of the story that probably was your fault, you know, but she doesn't tell the whole. She might have said what you did in response to what she said or done, but she won't tell the entire story. She doesn't tell how what the problem stemmed from. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a person that you know, I'm not advocating violence. It's kind of like a person that beat you up, right? It's kind of like a woman that say, "Hey, he beat me up," right? But she doesn't say why did he feel the need to jump on her, you know? And then she'll be like, oh, he beat me up. She'll call her friend, oh, he beat me up, this and that. He's no good or whatever. And I'm like, why he keep jumping on you? And then if you talk to the guy, he'll say, man, she took 5,000-10,000 out the bank account, and I don't know where it's at. Where did the money go? I'm like, damn. And then if you go back to her and be like, yo, what happened to the 5,000-10,000 that he said you took out the bank account when he was gone for 6 months, deployed? She's like, well, I don't know where the money went at. You know? And see, this is the type of stuff that happens all the time, you know, especially in the military. A lot of women do some shady shit. I mean, you got women out here they deserve exactly what they get out here. You got some women out here that's shady, but they don't tell the whole story. They'll say what the guy did based on, you know, there's cause and effect. They just tell half of the story, you know, but they don't say all the grimy shit she was doing when he wasn't around. How she had another man at the house in the bed where they sleep at night. And she don't say anything about that. You know, how she was spending money on some random guy that she barely know. She was paying the guy rent, car note, taking him shopping with her husband's money. This is the grimy shit that a lot of these women doing out here. And that's enough to make a man snap. But she's not going to tell that story. You know what I'm saying? This is why you have to be very careful who you let get close to you, or who you allow to get close to you, I should say, you know? Because you're only as strong as the people that you have around you. And you have to always look deep before you leap. Get to know her family. What type of family she came from? What type of stock she came from? How's her mom and her dad, her sisters, her brothers? How she grew up? Where she grew up? What type of relationship she had with her parents? Was it a healthy relationship or dysfunctional relationship? And how does she act towards you when she gets upset? How does she act when she's stressed? These are some things that you have to know before you take anybody serious, before you get married and move in with a woman and all that shit. You know, because you know they say pressure busts pipes. Some people get stressed, they become like a different person. You know, it's kind of like somebody that get drunk. When they get drunk, they become a different person. They become like they have like an alter ego type shit. You're like a monster. So you have to know. what, especially if you never seen a woman get upset, it don't necessarily got to be towards you. But if she does get upset towards you, if you haven't seen that, don't get married to her. Don't move in with her. You have to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. How is she when she wake up in the morning? How is she when she go to bed at night? There's some women that wake up in the morning, they're damn near a different person, telling it all made up. Me, I like natural women. The more natural, the better. I'm not really a big fan of makeup like that. So you might not have a problem with makeup. You know what I'm saying? But I do. I'm not really a big fan of it. You know what I'm saying? But that's just those are just some things to think about. You know what I'm saying? If you need any help with this, let's go to SharpGameAtl. And how you see relationships never be the same, man. You know what I'm saying? All the excuses women say, oh, I got a headache. I don't feel like doing anything. All the excuses that you understand why most of the excuses women make is just cap. Fake an orgasm, all that nonsense. Cap. I don't think I ever had a woman fake an orgasm on me. I don't think so. But once you understand women, what makes them tick, you start to have a completely different experience. And you be light years ahead of most guys. Most guys will never understand women and what makes them tick. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about women all over the world. I'm talking about whatever country they're in right now, the women that they're around, they will never understand them. They just won't get it. Just like women. Most older women understand guys. They get it. But she's old. She's damn near late 40s, 50 years old, 60 years old before it took her that long to understand men. And guys are no different. There's some guys might go their whole life. You know what I'm saying? There's some women that are gonna just get a dog and die by themselves, and there's some guys gonna be like that too. But the best thing about us guys is we don't have a clock. As long as we're in good health and strength, we have options. But you have to be a certain type of guy. You know what I'm saying? Because as a guy, as long as you're in good shape, good health, you can travel and do whatever you want as long as you have the means and resources. You know what I'm saying? And but women, on the other hand, it's not the same. Because women, they're on the clock. And regardless of how good a woman might look, if she's 50, she's still 50. If she's 60, she's still 60. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I know some 55, 60-year-old women, they look good, but she's still 50, she's still 55, 60. I want kids. I'm not going to have a kid with a 60-year-old woman. I'm not going to try anyway.
No, 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 no.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try. You know, my ideal age is the as far as having kids with a woman, I would say from late 20s to 35-ish, 36. That's my ideal range. You know, as far as having kids with a woman, you know. But, you know, that's just me. You might be different, you know. I see a lot of guys that they go overseas, go to other countries, and they're meeting women that's their age and around their age group. And I'm like, and sometimes older than them. And I'm like, oh hell no. I don't want no woman my age or older. I know some women my age are older, of course, but I'm not I'm not investing a lot of time with them. I mean, visit them, you know, spend a day with them, but I'm not spending a whole weekend with a woman that's in her 50s. I don't I don't see why I should, you know. We're not gonna be the I'm not we're not gonna be together. You know, I'm in my 40s and she 55, 60. We're not going to be together. We're not going to be in a long-term relationship together. So I just look at it like I want to be around women that I can see myself being in a long-term relationship with eventually. At least the possibility. It's not guaranteed, but at least the possibility is there. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like I treat it like a numbers game. The more people, the more women I'm around, uh, in the age group, late 20s, mid 30s, somebody's gonna stick around. That's how I look at it, you know. And it takes time to get to know women in North America. Now, in other countries, it don't take as much time. It don't take as much time in other countries. You know, it don't. But at the end of the day, man, you can have any relationship you want. Would there's some woman out here that's down with it. But do yourself a damn favor. Keep my wife name out your mouth. I hit you with the Will Smith. But nah, on a real tip, just keep your mouth closed. And any woman that deals with you, you tell her keep her damn mouth closed too. Whatever happens in your household should stay in your household. Keep that in mind. So share this episode. Tell me what you think. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.